Welcome back to another episode of TPC. I am joined with one of my friends, Maji. We're going to be talking about the
So,
Cowboys versus the Green Bay Packers. This is a Sunday night primetime game. The Cowboys are 1-2, coming off a loss against Chicago, but the Packers are also coming off a loss against the Cleveland Browns. That was the most unexpected loss, losing at 13-10 by a game-winning field goal. Our two teams have faced each other for so long, through
yeah,
playoffs, close games. Aaron Rodgers, you have owned us for the past, I'll say 10 years. I got to say that. You have owned us for a long time, the Aaron Rodgers era. But now let's see how the Jordan Love era begins, because this is the second game against us, pretty much. So how do you feel about heading in this
yeah.
game after losing to the Cleveland Browns?
It's not a good way to go into this game. Obviously, I expected to win. A lot of people expect to win, but we lost, and we're going on the road again, and that's going to be the big issue. I think with Jordan Love, he plays best at home. He can do good on the road, obviously, but as you see, last time we were in AT&T, we did have the big playoff game. That was like the statement game from Jordan Love. I would love that
It
to happen
was.
again, but we had a lot of momentum that time. Now our momentum's cut off, so I don't know if it's going to be as good of a game, but I think we can pull it off. And your defense is not um, great, I'll tell you that, in any sense of the word.
Oh,
Like, we have to be able to put up points to
the
win this,
defense
and I
is.
think our defense will be able to hold. I think it'll be a good. I think it'll be
I
good.
definitely
I
think this is
think
going to be
something.
a good game. I think y'all's defense is probably one of the best in the league, coming with leading the pass defense being seventh, and then rush defense being I think third, and in points allowed, the first team allowing only 4 touchdowns this season. I mean, y'all's defense is something different, and it's the last time I seen this defense was this good was in 2011 when y'all won the Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers, and it's kind of funny every
Yeah,
single season the Packers quarterback when they turn 27 they win the Super Bowl. So it's a very interesting stat with that. I'm very weird with those kind of stats.
yeah,
Stereotypical with those. But if I had to say heading this game, I mean, the momentum for the Cowboys is just the offense. I mean, the offense is very carrying this team. No CD is going to be a big loss. George Pickens has to step it up. Jake Ferguson's been really good with him and Dak. He had around 15 targets, 20 targets last week in the Chicago game. And the run game has been really good for the Cowboys. That's, pretty much Javonte Williams has been that running back, literally lowering his shoulder every single time, making a big hit. And, I definitely hope to see that, hitting Micah Parsons. I mean, this is Micah Parsons' homecoming game, too. I mean, it's kind of hilarious. Jerry Jones came out and said he's not going to do a single video for Micah Parsons. Not like a tribute or anything. It's just a game. And I feel like, I know it's because he traded him away, pretty much. He let him go.
yeah,
But past players, he always gave a tribute to him. Ezekiel a couple of years ago with the Patriots, he gave him a tribute video after cutting him. This is a whole different situation because there's bad blood between Micah Parsons and Jared Jones, and I think Micah Parsons is going to make a big statement. And Micah came out with a couple days ago. It's going to hurt him sacking one of his friends, Dak Prescott. And how do you
yeah.
think Micah's going to do in this game?
I
Heading this
think
game?
Micah Parsons is gonna he's gonna do what he's been doing for us. He hasn't been getting the most sacks on our team. The most sacks we have on the team is Rashawn Gary with
Yeah,
4.5. He elevates our line. He gives
he
us
does.
breath of new fresh air. Like, we're able to have our other players stand out like crazy. And even if Micah Parsons won't get the sack, his pressure is always going to be there. And I think we're going to be able to put the pressure on Dak. And obviously, the best player on the Cowboys offense right now is Dak. He's been playing great. Obviously, 2 interceptions last game, but it's not his fault. It was dropped by George Pickens. They
George
weren't
Pickens.
his fault, but I do think he'll be able to put up some points against us. Javonte Williams obviously is. I think he's almost leading in broken tackles in the league right now. He's a monster, but he did
Yes,
fumble. So I do think if we're able
that's a
to
big thing.
get the turnovers that you guys been giving out, I think that'll be the main point for our defense to probably get there.
And that is a big factor coming in this game is going to be turnovers because Dak's career against the Green Bay Packers, he probably averages around 2 picks per game against y'all throughout history since his rookie year, since the playoff game. He always throws around 2 to 3 picks in that game, and I definitely think this is going to be a high scoring game. I think Dak Prescott has to pretty much put on his back because every single game has been on his back, and I think it really does depend on him with anything because without CD, it's going to be George Pickens in the offense, and I think y'all's secondary is pretty good with Xavier McKinney. I don't know the other other safety, Burron or Bilron.
Javon Bullard.
Yes, he's
He's from
questionable.
Georgia.
Georgia, he's questionable in this game. I wonder how that worked. And has Nate Hobbs played by any chance? Did he play last week for his
Nate
first
Hobbs
game?
did play last week. I don't think
Uh-huh.
our corners, Keyshawn Nixon, he's the standout. I probably have been on record saying Nixon's the worst fucking player in the world. Sorry, you might have to bleep that out, but like I
Yeah,
thought he was terrible. But in week two, he played lights out, obviously. And I think he can do that again. They're playing really good. The scheme is perfect. Jeff Hafley's doing great with playing calls and stuff. I think every single player is doing really good. And Javon Bullard would be a great miss, but we have Evan Williams back there. And I think our
definitely.
depth is also a big thing. So if Javon Bullard doesn't play, I still think our pass defense is going to be amazing. The main thing I'm worrying about is the run defense because Javonte Williams, I'm a little scared of him, honestly. He could go crazy. Quinshawn Judkins had a really good game last week. He got a few big
He
runs.
did.
I just want to be able to stop those big runs because we don't want explosive plays. That'll definitely ruin us. That'll definitely get us off our momentum, and we just got to keep it, 2, 3 yards, hopefully a play. Keep them at that. Keep them at bay.
Yes, and if I had to say about my defense, the Cowboys, our play put pressure on Jordan Love. Put pressure on Jordan Love because the thing about Jordan Love is if you do not put pressure on him, he will dick park your defense. He will sit back there and just pick apart from your defense. A couple of years ago against the Cowboys, we had no pressure against him, and he was just picking us apart. And a couple of weeks ago against the Commanders, he was just picking apart them from Eagles single spot pretty much. But last week though, putting pressure on him because Myles Garrett put a lot of pressure on him. Jordan Love didn't have a good game. He was running for his life, throwing it away, not making those passes that he usually does. And I think that is the draw factor on Jordan Love is putting pressure on him. Because I do think he's one of the best quarterbacks in this league when he's in the pocket and he's just sitting back there just throwing it in the middle and, pretty much destroying the defense. But
Yeah.
putting pressure on him is going to be a mindset. I do believe Clowney is going to play in this game. I know he's a veteran, but getting that extra help on the edge is going to help. I don't know if Darrell Bland, he's questionable to play with us, but if we do have Bland, I do think we have a good chance on the defense because our nickel corner has been terrible, and that's what's been killing us is our nickel corner and Diggs being an idiot, pressing. I don't understand why he's pressing half the time because the thing is, everyone came after Eberflus for running a lot of zone against the Giants. We switched to man. We lit up 2 touchdowns in the first drive. I mean, one was
Yeah.
Diggs pressing, and then the Phil Flicker Luther Burden guy. I mean, kind of switched that up, and I just think this defense is playing like they're gooses out there, chickens without their heads. There was one point in the game in Chicago, he was wide open. Like, Caleb Williams was just sitting back there waiting, and the guy was right in the middle, wide open. I just don't know what's going on. I do think Donovan Wilson doesn't fit this defense for the Cowboys because he's more of a box safety, not a back end, like to protect the area and all that kind of stuff. If anything, I really do want the Cowboys to go get C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who the Texans just cut a couple of days ago,
Yeah.
because he does fit the Cowboys format of what kind of scheme
Yeah.
we need. And, I think is our front seven just needs to put pressure on Jordan Love to win this game.
Yeah.
And
I
if Diggs can limit y'all's receivers, because y'all's receivers, y'all don't have a Reed. Reed is out, right? Jalen Reed is out this week.
Jaden Reed is out. He's going to be out for a while. He's on injury reserve. I think the main thing with our offense versus y'all's defense is if you guys can get pressure, obviously it's going to be a little hard, but that'll open up for us to pick apart your weekend coverage on the backside.
Yeah.
I think that's the main thing. I kind of want you guys to blitz, honestly. I kind of want you guys to blitz so that we can hit these deep shots or hit these easy shots because it'll open it up. And on the other side of the things, I do think bold prediction. I think Matthew Golden has his breakout game. I think he has 100
Ooh.
plus yards, maybe two
Okay.
plus touchdowns. I think it's going to be a crazy game for him because I go back to the game in Lambeau, Cowboys versus Packers,
Christian Watson.
2022, Christian Watson's breakout game. I think it's going to be the same thing here because your defense has allowed a lot of breakout. Luther Burden had his breakout game.
Yep.
I think
Caleb.
we'll be able to do that. Caleb Williams had his breakout. I would say that was best game of his career. I was
Definitely
looking at,
was.
I was like, obviously I wasn't happy as a Packers fan, but I saw, okay, he did pretty good. I can't even hate, but that's why I think we'll have the best chance because your defense is just getting shredded week after week. I don't know if you're going to make any adjustments. I just think you're playing out of line right now. Eberflus doesn't know what to do because everyone doesn't know what to do. Micah Parsons' loss is probably the biggest loss in the league right now of the year because that
Definitely.
was your guy. That was your defense right there. He could put pressure. He could help others get pressure on the QB, and then that would help out alleviate your back seven or your back five or whatever, right? But now you don't
Yes.
have that. Now you don't have that game breaker, and it's going to be hard to put the pieces in. It's going to maybe you guys get better over the season, but right now I think I don't think your guys are going to do great for maybe a few more games, right? You have to get into the rhythm of
That's the
that.
thing is that's the thing is with getting a new DC. We have had three DCs over the past 3 seasons with Dan Quinn 23, 24 was Mike Zimmer, now Matt Eberflus. But the thing is though, we're getting guys. We're still having the same guys from Dan Quinn's defense and now Mike Zimmer's defense, and then we're bringing guys from Matt Eberflus's defense. You're bringing guys who are not used to the same system. You need to bring new guys, and that's the thing is Diggs has been in the system from Dan Quinn. He's not catched up with this new defensive and all that kind of stuff because he's a Dan Quinn guy, if anything. I think that's why he's been, having a drawback year with anything. And in Bland with the same thing is Bland's been decent. It's just he hasn't been healthy. It's just you look at the players who are from Dan Quinn guys, they haven't been successful. The Mike Zimmer guys are not even on the team anymore.
Yeah.
But Eberflus guys have been decent a little bit, with these young rookies that we had, like Donovan and Solon Thomas. I mean, the guys are just from Eberflus's defense, but the Dan Quinn guys have been terrible. And I still think is what the Cowboys need to do is forget the Dan Quinn guys, let go all of those guys pretty much because, it hasn't done anything. We've been terrible for the past 2 years on defense. Can't stop the run. We can't even stop the pass now. I think the run's getting better though. It just depends on Kenny Clark stays healthy and he's on the field. But the pass has just been terrible. It just kind of flipped on us this year. And this kind of been the worst defense since we had Mike Nolan. In 2020, this when they we let everyone score on us, make everyone look like they're a top 5 quarterback.
It did. It does give flashbacks to those years. Yeah, I think with the run defense, Josh Jacobs, he hasn't been playing a standard for us. And I do think it's because of our run. I think it's because of our run blocking right now. Zach Tom's been injured, and just the guys in our system right now are just not blocking well enough for the run. And I don't think that's Josh Jacobs' fault, but also he needs to play better. He needs to be able to hit the hole and get running. But I think running the run game in general, run defense, run offense, it just won't be the biggest effect right now in the game. I do think it'll be a passing game from both sides of the team, and that'll probably be the biggest impact for the defense right now.
And I love this though is for so many years, for 3 years every time we play y'all, there's one player that goes off against us, and he's not on y'all's team anymore, Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
And I'm a little relief with that. I hope Josh Jacobs doesn't do anything like that to us because Aaron Jones guarantees gets 3 touchdowns on us no matter what. And I don't have to worry about that guy anymore. And that is another thing is about the past years. Y'all beat us in the run game. Y'all win by the running a lot.
Yeah.
And I feel
and then hitting the play action.
The play action of that because y'all's run game because it helps the pass game with Jordan Love is with that. And because that 23 year, that was y'all's team a little bit, was Aaron Jones running the ball, getting that, build the play action for Jordan Love. This year's kind of slowing it down. Josh Jacobs hasn't had that crazy game yet. And that's what I feel like. If y'all can't build that play action, Jordan Love, we just know that we're just going to pass rush you and try to make you, beat us over the third.
Yeah.
But, we made Russell Wilson look like himself from 2013, and then a couple weeks ago, the Chiefs, he got benched to the point he's not even the starting quarterback anymore.
Yeah, Jackson Dart
is the remaining quarterback for the next season, but it just I don't know. This game's gonna be good. If you had to say a prediction for this game, who do you think wins? Score prediction.
I think it's gonna be a barn burner of a game. Cowboys Packers. That's if you could envision America's game of the week or something like that, it's Packers versus Cowboys. It's always gonna be a fun one. Whatever happens throughout the season, honestly, everyone just forgets what their roles is and they just go off. So, that's the game, right? So I think it'll be 28-24 Packers win. I think it'll be a close one. I do think we'll be ahead for a while, but I do think sometimes Matt LaFleur tends to let teams come back. And I think that might bite us in our butt. That's what happened with the Browns. We were just lollygagging all over the field. I don't want that to happen again, but Matt LaFleur has a tendency to do that. I do think it'll be we win. Packers win 28. Cowboys 24. And as I said before, Matthew Golden breakout game. I'm predicting 100-plus yards or 2+ touchdowns. And I think Jordan Love will have a good game. I hope Josh Jacobs goes off, but I think if I could make one bad prediction about us, I think Josh Jacobs does not have a good game at all.
Okay.
And those are my predictions for the Packers.
And if I had to say my prediction for the Cowboys, I think this game is the George Pickens game. I think George Pickens makes a statement of saying he's still one of the best receivers in this league. It's going to be him all night, pretty much. I think Javonte Williams, he had his breakout game against the Giants and everything. I still think he's going to have a great game. I think if I had to say my score prediction for the Cowboys, I just think if we drop 1-3, the season's pretty much done. 1-3 is one of the toughest parts to recover from. But if we somehow win this game, going dropping 2-2, I think the season's still alive and we can still make a playoff berth. And if I had to say a score prediction, I think it's going to be the high 30s. I think 30. Usually I think 35-31. I think usually
That's
that
a
kind of
good one.
score. I think we're going to win this game. Hopefully, it really just depends if Dak can limit his turnovers, because throughout history he throws the ball right to y'all half the time. And if we limit the turnovers, I think we can win this game. And putting pressure on Jordan Love is the number one mindset to win this game. And if we don't put a bunch of blitzes on y'all or put pressure on y'all, I think y'all will destroy us. But I'm taking my Cowboys in this game, and I think that's going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good one. It's going to be fun. I want to text you right after the game. But no matter what, we're going to text each other probably and
Yes,
see each other's
definitely.
reactions. But yeah, thank you for having me on. It was
Yes,
fun.
definitely. It was a great episode. Thank you all for joining for TPC, and see y'all later.